First of all, how great it is to be here with all of you. We have members of our committee and under the leadership of Father Gary Daly for our Year of the Eucharist Committee, and also to have some students from Pope Francis, our Catholic high school. So it's a delight to be here. I begin this Christ the King by saying to you, aloha. Aloha. Thank you, thank you. We're going to go on a quick journey to Hawaii right now. I wish on this crisp day that we could actually go to Hawaii, but I want to take you on this little journey. You see, when Hawaii had royal families and kings and queens, the royals were always accompanied by a kahili. A kahili is a feather, a stick with feathers on it, and in ornate designs that would indicate what family that royal person was from and such. It told those who were walking through and saw the kahili to say, oh, a royal person, a king, is in our presence. It is a type of a coat of arms, if you will. A kahili said to the people, bow down because a king is entered. A king is here. So when the Catholic missionaries came and started teaching the faith in Hawaii, just like many missionaries, they began to, as they began to teach the faith, they used images from within the culture so that people could understand what they were being taught, what the missionaries were talking about. And so when they built the very first chapel and they placed the tabernacle with Jesus truly present in it behind the altar, they placed a kahili on either side of it, saying that what is here or who is here is a king. You are in the presence of a king. You see, this is the power and the majesty of what we experience when we encounter Jesus Christ truly present in the Eucharist. And the gestures that we used when we honor the Eucharist speak about his kingship. That is why it's so appropriate that we begin the year of the Eucharist on this great solemnity of Christ the King. You see, when we look at the cross, we see how Jesus loved us 2,000 years ago. That's what Mother Teresa said. But she said when we look at the Eucharist, when we encounter Jesus, this is Jesus loving us today. The representation of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross made present for us. You see, the Eucharist is Christ truly present, body, blood, soul, and divinity. It is his presence among us. It is our King holding court with his people. So we genuflect, we fall on our knees, we place him in the center of our churches, but also place him in the center of our lives. The catch is that we Americans have a hard time understanding royalty. We fought a revolution to get rid of it, so that we don't have to have a king. And so how do we understand Jesus being our king? Our popular understanding of a king or queen usually reflects something of Queen Elizabeth or Prince Charles, the British royalty. The Queen of England and the Prince of Wales truly don't have any authority. They're figureheads. They're representatives of a nation. But they don't actually rule the nation. So it seems like a king in our minds isn't fully fleshed out by that image, the most current image, the most popular image that we have. And so when we speak of Jesus as a king, something radically different is meant. The kingship of Jesus is an absolute monarch. Now, in our political experience and political ideology, absolute power corrupts absolutely. We know that. We think of any person who is a ruler for life, and they are a despot. This is not what the kingship of Jesus is. You see, he rules with love. He corrects with mercy. He does not tear down his people, but he builds us up to be who we truly can be. He is the king whose throne is the cross of self-giving love. This is the king that we have. He is the king who humbled himself not just on the cross, but takes the form of bread and wine at every Mass, so that this king, this absolute king, this monarch can nourish us at the very core of our being. Sadly, many have never learned or forgotten that he gives himself to us, this King of Kings, this Prince of Peace, at every Mass in the Eucharist. This year, we are responding to that by beginning an initiative that's not just a 1 year long, but is beginning hopefully a tidal wave here in Western Massachusetts to say that if Christ is your king, that is the only way you'll ever know peace. We can place our trust in many different things, political systems, ourselves, money, power, honor, influence, but none of them will ever bring us joy, much less eternal life. And so we respond to our gift of our King in the Eucharist by bringing him out to a world that is starving. This is the job not just of Father Gary, myself, the deacons. It's every single one of our responsibility. It's our charge as subjects of the King. And so we must serve our King by inviting others to know him in the world, to know him in this world, and to bring his Eucharistic love out to the world, a world starving to death. You see, let us make this truly a year where we celebrate the gift of the Eucharist that begins a new era of faith here in Western Massachusetts. Christ is not a figurehead. Jesus is our King. Praise be Jesus Christ.